As a coach and a rank 3000 player, let me tell you that the replay system is a game changer. And if you know how to use it, you can rank up faster than 99% of people. So here's 6 ways to use the replay system to rank up faster. Number 1. Most common mistake. Most people just jump into a replay and speed forward to when they die and then try to figure out what they could have done better. If that's how you use the replay system, then I'm sorry to tell you that you're leaving a lot on the table. Whenever you're watching a replay, there are 2 important things to look for. The first one is partly looking at your deaths and mistakes, but that is far from everything. It's important to see your mistakes and then make sure to do less of them, but also to replace those mistakes with new and better solutions. A golden rule is to try and see if you can find patterns. If you lose one fight, that doesn't mean you need to work on your aim, but if you lose 10 fights in a row where you feel like you should have won the fight, well, then there's a pattern and a problem. So instead of just saying, my aim is bad, I need to work on it, find out what part of your aim is problematic. Find that specific. Break it down all the way to its core. Is your accuracy bad? Are you overflicking? Are you too shaky? Find the specific issue in the pattern and work on that. But finding the issue is only half of the equation, so you need to analyze your kills as well. What are you doing well in those scenarios? What can you learn? How can you make sure you keep doing that? If you analyze the good and the bad, you will rank up so much more through the replay system. Number 2. Don't waste time. A common misconception is that people think more time and effort spent means more results. By looking at every tiny mistake and detail, you can extract all the knowledge from the replay, right? There's a big problem with an approach like this. You actually don't want to come out of a VOD review with 50 things to work on. That won't work. It's too much. Instead, you want to find 1 to 3 big problems that occur often and work on those instead. That usually means you don't have to watch the whole game. Instead, you can begin by looking at your defense half. If you find a pattern and a problem that is reoccurring, then move on. Instead of watching the whole defense half where you keep making the same mistake over and over again, look at your attack half instead and do the same. Find the good and the bad, then move on. The goal is efficiency. If you have to spend 2 hours every day on VOD reviewing, you will have way less time to spend on actually practicing and improving. You just need a thing or 2 to work on and you're set. So try to minimize your time spent on a replay. Don't sit there watching through every second. I'd love to go full-time with coaching and doing content for you guys, so I've made a coaching program with literally a guide on every agent, map, mechanic in the game, and weekly group coaching, all for the price of what most people charge for one coaching session. So it would mean the world to me if you just checked it out. Thanks. Number 3. Learn more with this trick. Looking at your deaths and kills is kind of like level 1. It's good, and if you do it efficiently, you can get very far. But there's another level to this. Another way to learn and improve more. Sometimes it's not enough to just watch a kill or a death. So a really powerful thought experiment you should implement when watching replays is this. Whenever you lose a round, ask yourself, could I have prevented this during the pre-round? The best way to get better at the game and carry more is through proactivity. Let's say the enemies got sight and you lost during the retake. You could think about how you could improve your retake, or you can think about how you could have prevented that scenario in the first place. Could you have rotated faster? Could you have been in a better position to rotate faster? Could you have pushed to get earlier info? Find ways to prevent disadvantageous situations instead of trying to overcome them. Number 4. Take inspiration. If you watch one of your replays and you just can't seem to figure out what to do in a scenario, what do? You could get a coach or a friend to help you, or you could do something else. If you don't know how to solve a specific problem, I encourage you to find a VOD of a pro playing your agent on the same map. When you do that, one of 2 things will happen. The pro will either be in a similar scenario sometime during the match. In that case, you can compare what you did to their solution and then find out what you're doing wrong. Then you can either copy the pro or slightly change your approach. The key here is to actually understand what the issue is. The second scenario is that the pro will not at all be in a similar scenario, which often means you have a completely backward or wrong approach. If the pro is never in a similar scenario, it usually just means it's a terrible spot to be in. So that could be valuable information for you to switch up your approach or style completely. By comparing your gameplay to a pro, you can find ways to tweak your playstyle to win more. Number 5. 2x your improvement. There's a really underrated way to use the replay system to improve faster. Whenever something goes wrong and you die and lose a round, it can sometimes feel hard to find the correct solution to the problem. So there's an alternative way of approaching this. Go back and watch that round through the enemy's perspective. By watching the round from another perspective, you will get a better understanding of what you did right and wrong. It can sometimes be easier to spot your own mistakes when you look at the round from another perspective. You could also learn from the enemy in case they did something well. This way you can get twice the amount of improvements from a replay system. So from each play you will learn from your mistakes and from the enemy's good play. But you can also flip it. If you do something well, take a look at the enemy and what they did wrong. Through this approach you can learn so much more and get much more out of your replays. Number 6. What to do after a replay review. Watching a replay is only half the battle. You can learn a bunch, but what you do with that knowledge is what matters. I can teach you step by step exactly how to play Raze. But if you never play Raze and apply that knowledge, you will never learn how to actually play Raze despite having all the necessary knowledge. Therefore, you need to do a few things properly in order to get results that will actually lead to you getting better and ranking up. You need to take action and practice, but not just in any kind of way. First off, you need to focus on learning one thing at a time. We have a limited amount of focus, so don't scatter yourself. Instead, laser focus on one thing, the one thing you're trying to learn. But then what? Now that you have the skill you want to focus on and improve, you need to practice that skill until it becomes autopilot. You might need to think about your rotations for 10 games straight, but after that it will become automatic. And after that it will become a part of your playstyle and you won't need to think about it, and thus you've improved. That's how you take theory or something you've learned from the replay review and translate it into actual skill.